Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And it bemoans me to say that I have grievances, but they are grievances of joy, in the sense that there are wonderful things that are happening in the Goldstein electorate and the celebration and the achievement of the people of Goldstein in building community. And particularly, for instance, you see this day to day in the community engagement that I go to only recently at the Beaumaris North Primary School Fair, where they run their biggest fundraiser, the Beaumaris North Primary School Fete. This whole school community event is created by the combined efforts of parents, staff, students and the Goldstein local business community. Previous fundraising efforts have led to the new playground equipment, sporting facilities and a brand new amphitheatre. And this year the funds raised will support the school's digital technologies program and the redevelopment of McDonald Street Playground. The day's entertainment included Hyatt Gymnastics, Kayla Gaffney, the Beaumaris North Primary School Seahorse Singers, Beaumaris North's Got Talent, their science experiment, Susie King singing students, and Denzel and Phil Parra. I'd also like to acknowledge on the 18th of February was Furbanks Fair at Sandringham Campus, or Sandringham House Campus. A huge thanks go to the parents and volunteers, including Rachel Robb, who was the co-president of the Sandringham House's Parents Association and a co-organiser of the Fair Committee, Tanya Powell, who was also the co-president of the Sandringham House Parents Association, and Francesco Marchetto, Fair Manager, who organised the event and worked tirelessly to ensure the day was a great success. Thanks also to the event's major sponsors, Lexus Brighton and Barry Plant Bayside. The weather, of course, tried to dampen the atmospheres, or more to the point, blow us all away. It was windy that day, Deputy Speaker, but spirits, of course, remained high in the context. That same weekend, St Leonard's hosted their Community Day Fair, the largest event in their college calendar. Coordinated by a dedicated and passionate parent committee led by Bronwyn Betro, the fair organiser, and Stuart Davies, who's the school principal, the entire college community, including current and past families and staff, came together to celebrate all that is great about St Leonard's School. And I have to say, having been there, Deputy Speaker, it was not just a miraculous day in terms of the sunshine, but the volume and the number of people who came together to support not just a school but a community and to build a sense of social connectedness was truly inspiring. It was huge. And there was live entertainment, delicious food, fabulous homemade jams and cakes, a community market, as well as bidding on silent auction items, and I've no doubt they did very well out of the exercise. Similarly, last Saturday, I had the pleasure of attending the Regis Brighton Doggy Fashion Show. Now, pups strutting their stuff goes to the sometimes unique nature of the Goldstein community. Dogs are a big thing, and yes, as part of that, my pugs, Louie and Ella, made a star appearance. But they were not alone, where staff and friends brought their pooches in the park, as it were, to strut the stuff down red carpet and be given awards for different categories, ranging from best vocals to, of course, best costume. But it was really about the clients of Regis Brighton and helping them enjoy the day, and particularly to have human as well as canine engagement. And of course that's very important, particularly for many people who use aged care and miss out on the opportunity for as much social connection as perhaps we might get around this place or the rest of the community. Now, the event was proudly sponsored by Regis Aged Care and Dogue Brighton. The event showcased many activities and treats, such as face painting, a sausage sizzle, doggy bags with costumes and toys for the dogs, and one dog was even turned into a unicorn. I'll leave it up to you to decide how that happens. Showgoers also had the opportunity to tour the Regis Aged Care facility in Brighton, which was probably necessary because, let's face it, it was bucketing down on the day. The day also included a pooch fashion parade, which I had the honour of judging, and I am happy to say that out of the dogs that presented, even though mine were participants in that, they did not win any awards. There was no ball tampering or cheating in the exercise. It was one where everything was above board. So a huge thanks particularly to Craig Rutherford and the wonderful friends at Regis Brighton for making and coordinating the day and making such a great success. I was also very proud recently to be part of the United Israel Appeal's 2018 Campaign Gala Dinner. This is a major dinner held to fundraise for the Israel appeal and the incredible work that's been done to bring it all together. And I express my particular thanks to my table host, Alex Goodman, for inviting me and for having me along at the dinner last week. But the real congratulations needs to go to Hayley Southwick, who was the coordinator of the dinner and of UIA this year and the president this year. And she deserves incredible commendation, not just because of her incredible organisation and valorous volunteering work, but critically also because of the incredible her incredible narration skills throughout the evening against the backdrop of many videos trying to describe the incredible, important work the UIA does. It was, of course, another memorable celebration of Israel, particularly in the year of its celebration of its 70th year of foundation, where we heard from Dennis Prager, who's a best-selling author, columnist, nationally syndicated radio talk show host who's based in Los Angeles, and of course is famous not just for his radio talk show host, but also for his Prager University videos, which if you haven't seen them, go online, type in Prager University, and it'd be fantastic to read some of the wonderful work and hear some of the work that they're doing. And he spoke particularly about the critical role, not just of Israel to the world and the Jewish people and their preparedness to support each other, but critically the importance of Israel and its support for many countries, including ours. He also highlighted much of the hypocrisy that sits at the heart of many discussions around Israel, particularly how people seek to delegitimise the modern nation state and its purpose when they don't apply the same standards or principles, and that ultimately people are trying to use sometimes their criticism of Israel as a form of cloak or screen for anti-Semitism. There was, of course, also present the Israeli ambassador, Mark Sofer, and the San Master artist, Shilai Ben-Nun. And I'd also like to acknowledge Mark Lieber AC, the Honorary Life Chairman of UIA Australia, the Treasurer Julian Black, the Chairman of the Young UIA, David Skurnick, and all the other members of the Victorian Executive Committee. It followed, of course, only a few days prior, on the 18th of March, attending the One Voice Festival, which is in Elsternwick, technically just outside of the Goldstein electorate on the margins, but provide an opportunity for the Jewish community to come together and celebrate as part of what's forming as a new precinct, a space for the Jewish community as part of Melbourne's rich tapestry around Elsternwick to celebrate traditions and values, food, of course, which always goes straight to the heart of not just Jewish community events, but also my waistline. And last year, I acknowledged everybody who was involved. So this year, I'm going to acknowledge one person that I didn't acknowledge last year, which is to thank Ross Lomazov, who actually came up to me and reminded me that I didn't mention him last year, and that was not my error, but it is one that we want to correct. On Saturday the 17th, we also had the Southern FM Radiothon, which is based in Parliament Street, aptly named, in Brighton, which had their open day, and of course encourages people to join Southern FM as part of its subscription base as the foundation for radio stations that covers the Bayside and southeast of Melbourne. Southern FM is home to one of the most diverse range of programming on radio, including jazz, soul, rock, pop, R&B, dance and country, as well as discussion of health and parenting, community news and local sport. I was very fortunate to be on it also recently, visiting Whiz Island in the northern part of Queensland, which is, I will concede, a metaphorical island, Deputy Speaker, but where you get the opportunity to talk about the wonderful music that you want to talk about, and as a local representative, it's my honour to be on the show with Pauline. And like all good open days like Southern FM had, there was also, of course, a sausage sizzle, but I did not partake because of the number of other events I did that day. I'd like to thank in particular Pauline O'Brien for the invitation to attend, and no, I would like to correct the interjecting member. It was not because I am vegetarian, mostly because it was about 10 o'clock in the morning and it was probably just after breakfast. I also had the pleasure of attending the 5th Annual General Meeting of the Bayside University of the Third Age. And U3A, I'm sure, as any member who has engaged with them will know, they're an incredibly impressive group who come together and support people through the latter stages of their life and keeping them physically and mentally active, artistically active, and they do incredible work. So many thanks to the committee of the management of Bayside U3A, including its new president, Tony Applin, and secretary, Juden Sinclair, and also to acknowledge the wonderful work of David Hone, who was the retiring president. Finally, Deputy Speaker, last Sunday I attended the Bayside Community Forum on Refugees and Aid. The forum was supported by the Bayside Church and its pastors, Rob and Christy Buckingham, which do a wonderful job and put on an excellent forum, with a great thanks to the MC and coordinator, Jason Kelly, for his efforts. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.